All right, so with everything that's going on with GameStop and Robinhood, here's a clip of Cramer talking about your rules if you're a new investor.
Let me give you my rules for revolutionaries. That way you can decide if you really want to be one. First, rule one. If you're a stock market revolutionary, your goal is to augment your capital with stocks of companies that deserve to go up higher over time. Something I delved in really deeply this morning on my pretty unplugged, some say, monthly call for ActionAlertsPlus.com members.
So the first rule he has here, it says, augment your capital with stocks that deserve to be higher. First of all, nothing in the stock market matters when you're talking about deserves. It's money. Who decides who deserves what? So the fact that he puts this out there, I mean, you got to think for yourself, guys. Does this kid deserve to be first place, or does that kid deserve to be first place, or do they both get trophies? The stock market, it's war. For me to win, somebody has to lose. No trophies for everybody here. So deserving money, deserves, it really doesn't matter. And quickly at the end of this, he plugs his, stock Cramer action alerts. So he plugs his own blog or his action alerts, his subscriber base. So that's the first thing about Cramer.
Rule two. Your goal is not to demolish the czars, the bourgeoisie, the fat cats, or the kulaks. What the heck does that get you? There's no slingshot like David and Goliath. There's a button you push to buy or sell stocks. You don't have a crush the hedge funds button, even if you coordinate with millions of your buddies on Reddit to buy at the same time. So put down the slingshot and pick up the annual reports, the quarterly reports, the conference call transcripts.
Rule number 2, it says, don't try to wipe out others. Well, do you want to go in and play nice, or are you trying to actually win as much money as possible? When you go to Vegas, are you playing nice? If you win a hand, do you give a portion of your winnings back? No, you go in to try to win as much as you can. Like, I don't get why he says don't try to wipe out others. You make money if others lose. Somebody has to lose. New investors usually lose to more experienced investors. It's just the natural order of things. If you're a really, really great new trader and you can wipe out a new long-term investor, an older long-term investor, then you should be able to wipe them out. Your age does not matter in the stock market. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Who cares who you wipe out?
Rule 3. Stocks do lots of crazy things, not because the market's rigged, but because the market's driven by humans, and humans are emotional creatures. If you know how to read those emotions, well, then you can find opportunities.
Step 3, rule number 3, prepare to capitalize on random emotional stock moves. He just got done saying pick up the annual report and read it.
So put down the slingshot and pick up the annual reports, the quarterly reports, the conference call transcripts.
And then he said, the stock market is driven by humans. Humans are emotional creatures. So why should I read an annual report if all the money flowing into the system is based off of humans' psychology? Guys, your psychology depends on where you want to put that money. So deserve doesn't matter. Is this company more fundamentally sound? Who cares? Wherever your emotions go, you're going to vote with your dollars. Stop reading annual reports. They practically mean nothing.
Government is not riding to the rescue. Janet Yellen, our new Treasury Secretary, met with a bunch of very important people to talk about what's happening in the markets today, but Yellen has bigger fish to fry. Let's say there's like a pandemic, mass unemployment. She's got to push through the stimulus package through Congress. Making new rules to smooth out the market, not a priority. Remember what I told you last night? The stock market is a caveat emptor institution. The government's not going to give you a warranty, people. These are not vacuum cleaners. You can't get your money back if you lost it, even when the action was insane. Sure, Yellen should look into last week's trading restrictions, of course. She should investigate whether commission-free means best price for you. I'd like to know that. We don't. But revolutions don't run on pennies. They run on knowledge. And Yellen can't make us smarter, even if she's pretty darn smart herself.
Rule number 4, remember that the Treasury Secretary is focused on the economy, not the stock revolution. The government isn't going to come bail you out, the normal person. The government will come bail out the big banks, the too big to fails, the giant hedge funds in this case. There is a lot of things that the government will do, but typically it's not going to be to bail you, the individual person, out. We're in the middle of coronavirus. How much stimulus did the normal people get? Not very much. I don't know, what was it, $600 or something like that? $1,200? Well, that's not going to last somebody a year, but they're granting emergency disaster loans, payment protection loans, all kinds of different stuff. But for the normal average Joe, you hardly get anything, and the government definitely is not looking out for you.
Rule number 5, revolutions are dangerous, which is why you need to protect yourself. You don't want to get purged. The best way to protect your portfolio, don't borrow money to buy stocks. Just don't do it. Margin magnifies your losses, meaning you're going to hit yourself with the slingshot. I've been in the game for about 40 years now, and almost every single systemic problem, those are the ones we can't mess around with, in the market starts with too much debt. I know how hard this was. Hey, when I was busy, I was in the hospital last week, when I was busy getting a Foley catheter, Google that, stuck into me last week, I was begging for morphine. Not my finest moment. Margin is morphine. It's very hard to kick, and it messes with your judgment. Do you really want to be trading stocks when your judgment's impaired? Recipe for disaster.
Rule 5, don't borrow money from a broker to buy stocks. Fiat currency is based around debt. We'll get into that later. But if you're smart enough, you should be using debt in your favor. Hedge funds use debt. When you actually buy a stock, you don't buy it. You buy it on the broker's credit, and then the broker has a credit with the clearinghouse. It's a series of debt obligations being passed from one person to another. Use debt in your favor. Be smart about debt. Use it wisely. But the richest, wealthiest people use debt in their favor. And the individuals, average Joe, are either afraid of debt or never use it or are behind in debt. They're on the wrong side of the debt.
Rule 6, revolutionaries can get carried away easily, especially when they're following a leader they don't know. They feel like there's more to it than just buying and selling stocks. They want to be encouraged by others who've done the homework. Trust me, these people don't care about you. They just need you to keep the balls in the air so they can make more money. So I need you to keep a sound head. Today you should be pondering if Amazon is worth more or less with Jeff Bezos as executive chairman rather than CEO. Is this like when Tim Cook took over at Apple? Something that really scared people, even though it turned out to be one of the greatest buying opportunities of all time. I think so. You should have been thinking about how Alphabet has transformed itself into a company where the focus is on YouTube profits and Google Cloud growth. These big tech outfits give you a fire hose of information when they report, and that information does make you a better investor. Remember, that's your goal.
Rule 6, keep a sound head and do the work. Well, I actually agree with this. You have to be able to think for yourself. A lot of times, the stock market is really geared for movement. They need volatility. Traders, investors, they want volatility. The more you move, the more you panic. The experienced people can get in and out, capitalizing on your fear, your greed, whatever it may be. You see it with the GameStop rally. You see it in Nokia, AMC, Bitcoin, marijuana, all these things. Traders want volatility. Stock market benefits off of volatility. The more movement, the more money can be skimmed on the way up and on the way down. So yes, you have to keep a sound head, but a sound head only comes after many, many, many mistakes or years and years and years of experience.
Finally, rule number 7. Remember that there's more to this revolution than the nihilists who say it's all fake, or the keyboard class warriors who want to storm the winter fat cat hedge fund palace. I'm talking about the part of the revolution that may have brought you here, the original goal, trying to make money in the stock market. You do that by finding companies that are in good shape and poised to do even better in the future.
Rule number 7, find companies that are making money and doing well. Well, that seems obvious enough, but if that was so obvious, why don't more people do it? People want faster returns. A company that is doing well is pretty easy to find, and typically if everybody is in that trade or investment, there's very minimal room for that thing to grow. So Warren Buffett, the most famous investor of all time, he's famous for having invested in Coca-Cola. Well, you can invest in Coca-Cola too. Problem is it generates very, very little growth, gives you a little dividend. But is that the rate of return that you want? If you want to get rich slow, do Coca-Cola. Do the S&P ETF. Just leave it there. Don't ever look at it. You will never even know about this GameStop revolution, Bitcoin, anything like that. Get rich slow is pretty easy. Put it in something, ignore it, come back in 60 years. That's why Warren Buffett is so daggone rich, because he buys stuff and he never ever sells it. He's like 80 something years old. He's only that wealthy because he's left it in there for that much time. If you want to be wealthier faster than him, look at Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. They're all younger. They've all made tons more money and a lot faster than him. So the returns you can get can be way, way, way greater than Warren Buffett. You just have to follow a different strategy. Like I said, if you guys want to get more money, if you want to hold a long-term investments, buy it, never sell it, hold it forever. But if you want to go faster, obviously that's why you're here. Maybe you're here to think about something differently, get a different take on the stock market and investing in money. You have to adopt a different strategy, and that strategy revolves all around your own psychology. Remember, the stock market is just a tool that your mind can use to make you a lot of money, or you can use it to make you broke. Understand how you think, and then monetize your skills, monetize your brain. You can do options, you can buy calls, you can buy puts, you can short stuff, you can go long stuff. You can do a variety of different things, but it all revolves around how you think and your approach. So my goal is to help you figure out the best approach for you and help you understand how money works, and for you to be wealthy, healthy, and happy. Peace.